Let's talk about the silent trap that almost no one warns you about. Mothering your man. You actually stepping into a masculine caregiver role, which kills your polarity without even knowing it. Most women don't just set out to mother their man. It's true. It actually happens in tiny, invisible steps. Like when he begins to forget something small, and you remind him. He fumbles with responsibility. You pick it up. He gets defensive when you bring up your needs. You swallow them to keep the peace. And before you even realize it, the energy in the relationship has flipped. You're the container, and he's the child. This isn't just about chores, logistics. It's about polarity. When a man shows up in a distorted feminine energy, needing constant soothing, avoiding responsibility, escaping into addictions, games, porn, vaping, pot, any of those. That then pulls the masculine energy, the distorted one, out of a woman. She becomes the protector, the planner. She's the one looking ahead, looking behind, looking to the side to make sure everything's okay with him. The fixer, the emotional regulator, exhausting as fuck. And over time, her own feminine, the part that longs to be received, held, to rest, to flow, gets muted, silenced. You start to feel guilty for even wanting what you want because you're not in the energy to receive it where it does feel natural. And that's because his moods are fragile and take center stage. You notice your body starts to get tense. Always brace because you can't trust him to hold structure. So you begin to adapt this sacrificial mother energy, putting his needs ahead of your own and calling that love. You begin to doubt your value and your worth when he pulls away because now you've invested in raising him instead of being met by him. Re-listen to that part. You feel completely invisible, and not because he doesn't see you, but because you've stopped slowly seeing you. This is why so many strong women now secretly feel unsafe to be themselves in their relationship. Because deep down they know, I don't have a partner. I have a dependent. And the cost isn't just exhaustion. It's the death of intimacy, traction, and your feminine core.
Hello fam, how are you all doing? I hope you all are good. Let's talk about this. What she said is the bitter truth. A lot of women are mothers to their husbands, not because they chose to be mothers to them outrightly, but because of the circumstance, the situation, because of the fact that the men they got married to chose to be irresponsible. Imagine being in a situation where an adult is refusing to be responsible. You will be forced to step in and take responsibility. That is exactly what a lot of women are doing in their marriages. It now seems like their husbands are dependent. They have to depend on them to survive. They have to depend on them to progress. It's disheartening. And what happens to the woman that is pulling on the weight? She becomes resentful. She loses herself in the process. She becomes invisible. She becomes a shadow of herself. Let's see how people reacted to her video in the comment section. Matrimony definition used to be mother's obligation. In Africa, brides are told that the husband is the first born child. That's a wounded feminine energy thing. In my country, they even train young women who are about to get married on how to properly mother their husbands. If you become his mother, the next thing he will do is bring you a bride because you are no longer his wife. Dating is exhausting. It's really draining. Takes strength. The center them ladies, even in marriage, let him pick up his own clothes. Don't allow him to turn you into his therapist. Let the chips fall where they must, but decenter him. Love yourself and invest in yourself more than him. The unsafe part hits me hard. Honestly, I feel unsafe at all. This is what men don't get. They think by giving a woman money financially makes her feel safe. No, you have to protect her in every other aspect. If a woman feels that if she's not the one handling something, her husband is going to handle it the way it's supposed to be handled, that comes with peace of mind and safety. But if a woman feels that if she's not involved in handling something, her husband cannot handle it because of the way he reasons, because he has low intelligence, because he's not critical, he's not analytical, that woman will never feel safe. It's as easy as that. This is so true. It leaves women drained of their feminine energy and sad while men thrive. True.
This is how low the bar is for men when we're dating. And I'll tell you why I'm reminded of this story from when my wife and I were first dating. Something happened this morning. But I'll just tell you this quick story. We had been dating about 6 or 7 weeks, and we're in Utah, and one of our favorite artists was in Las Vegas playing. So I invited her on this trip to go down there. I made all the arrangements. I was driving. And as we're driving down there, my wife is just, my now wife, girlfriend at the time, was asking questions about like, hey, do you know where we're going? Which I was like, I made the plans. It's like, we're getting, okay, like, you know where the concert is, where the hotel is. When we were like going out, she's like, do you have the room key? And she was constantly checking these like really simple, basic things. And so finally I was like, what is your deal? Like you keep questioning, like I'm 12. And she starts to tell me these stories of her ex-husband, who it was like this, just constantly him not thinking about anything or worrying about anything, driving in the wrong direction, getting lost, and how she had felt constantly like she was the one who had to be in charge of everything. And that if she wasn't on top of everything, it wouldn't happen, or would be forgotten, no follow through, all that stuff. And it kind of blew me away, because it's like basic human responsibility of like, I've invited you on this trip. I made the plans. So yes, I've got everything under control. And it really just came down to this morning, she's leaving for work. I'm staying home with our kid today, and it's recycle day. The recycle bin is blocked by her car in the garage. She's getting into her car, I open the garage door. She's looking at the recycling, looking at the street, looks up at me and goes, oh, are you going to pull the recycling bin out? And I've got like a jacket on and shoes. She's like, you're pulling the recycling bin out? I said, yeah. She's like, of course you are. Like, she's still shocked. We've been married 4 years. That I will remember to do normal things that need to be done. So guys, like, all you got to do is show up. Because there are some incredible, amazing women out there that just need somebody that can hold their own, show up, and support them. It's not that complicated and not that hard.
He just said it. It shows women know what they're talking about. We know what we are talking about when we talk about men that are incapable of being in a marriage. Men that can't think. Men that think like 2 years or 3 years old child, a grown man, thinking like he has no brains. What am I even saying? Can you think when you don't have brains? I don't even know, honestly. You will see a grown man and you will think that grown man is a human being that has functioning brain. But when they start reasoning, the brain of a chicken is way better than theirs. Same men have inflated ego. It's all about, oh, my ego, you bruised my ego. But guy, you don't have brains. You should be more worried about the way you think, the way you reason. So a lot of men on the streets are that way, just big for nothing. And some of them are very intentional when it comes to being incompetent, because it's their own way, it's their own strategy of escaping responsibility, if you get what I mean. Let's see how people are reacting to what he said in the comment section. I swear, it's a form of PTSD. Sadly, the bar is in hell. Having to think for two people is draining. Dating a man that's an actual adult is unheard of these days. A lot of them are boy men, child men. Most single men these days are still children looking for mothers. What women mean when we say we want a provider, that is what a provider is. It's not just money. A man that has got functioning brain, a man that can hold things down when you're not there. Vice versa. Most of us women have unfortunately been stuck in our masculine energy our whole lives. Honestly, this whole masculine energy thing, I don't really agree with it 100%, because you doing things for yourself is just you being an adult. But it does make sense when you get into a relationship for both parties to do things for each other, not one person carrying the burden of everything, if you get what I mean. So you trying to survive is you being a human. If they say everyone has got both masculine and feminine energy, what then is the problem if you decide to operate in your masculine energy because you need to survive? But when you have someone assisting with survivor, I think maybe you might tap into your feminine energy more, the way they say it. But to me, don't let anyone shame you for wanting to survive as a woman, because it's very normal. That is how it's supposed to be. Don't be a damsel in distress, because that's what the society wants women to be, depending on men to come save them. No. So don't let anyone shame you because you're trying to fend for yourself. Don't let anyone bring you down by saying, oh, you're too masculine. No, you're just surviving. You're doing what adults do. It's as easy as that. It is called weaponized incompetence. Basic human responsibility. You're helping her to heal her central nervous system. It takes time, but soon she will realize she's safe to relax. It's packaged as a funny thing in society. Women everywhere joke about how clueless their husbands are about household stuff and children, but in reality, they are telling us they are a useless, overgrown kid. I don't get how it's not a turn-off. It is a huge turn-off. It's because those women have been told that that is how men are. All men are that way. So you just have to choose your own poison and live with it. So they've chosen to be that way with their husbands, but that does not make it right. I don't understand why a man is the one that is sick. Your health is going down, but the woman is the one more concerned. She's the one booking appointments for you, reminding you of doctor's appointment and when to take your medication. Are you not a child? Crazy. And these men, they think women are operating with special powers. We are superhumans. That's just someone that hates you. It's someone that hates you that would put you through all that. Someone that doesn't see you as a human, that doesn't care about you, that sees you as a service maid. It's just someone like that that will watch you go through that. But women perceive that to be love. I don't get it. I thought my husband was a unicorn and he disagreed. He pointed out that I was just used to bad treatment, so anything above the bare minimum seemed extraordinary. The literally first time my now ex-husband brought the garbage bins back from the road was after I told him I was done. The first time, 18 years together.
Okay, men, we are not responsible for your emotions. I made a video about silly little video about how I asked my husband for a separation and he took his life the next day. And the amount of comments that are like, it's your fault. I can see why he did. Somebody said that it was I should be charged with involuntary manslaughter. Do you know how law works, first of all? And one thing the comments show me is how little responsibility people take for themselves. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, my husband was sick, mentally and physically, and he was very unwell. He likely had a psychotic break when he went and did that. Did the separation help? No, obviously not. But my husband was responsible for his actions and his emotions. And I made his emotions my problem for well over a decade. And do you know what that did? It ripped me apart. To the point that I didn't even know who I was. I was so obsessed with making sure he was happy, making sure he was emotionally regulated, making sure the house was perfect, the kids were perfect, everything was fine so he wouldn't get mad or sad or angry. And it didn't matter, because the second I said, no, this is no longer my responsibility, he did what he did. And so it really tells you where people's brains are at when you're getting multiple comments, not multiple, hundreds of comments talking about how it's my fault. My fault. And guess what? It's not my fault. I was the reason. I might have been the reason. I don't know. I don't know what happened in that moment. Maybe he was overwhelmed with the baby. He laid our kid baby down for a nap and went and took his life. I might have been the reason, but it is not my fault. And I'm making this video for anybody who holds any tiny bit of guilt for their spouse and if they took their life, or anybody in your life that took their life. I am telling you, it is not and never will be your fault. Okay? Are we on the same page? Oh my God. Some of you people are so vile and mean. But you know what? Guess what? Chin's up. Chin up. You got this. We got this.
Going through the comment section of the video she made, a lot of men were blaming her for what happened to her husband. And some people were leaving comments like septum piercing theory. Oh, I can see that. Oh, it's making sense right now because she has septum piercing. So what is this theory about? People said women that have got septum piercing, they are mentally ill. But I don't think that's the case. I think people that have piercing and tattoos and piercing at other part of their body are very expressive people. They are bold people. They come off to me as people that are very different, people that have got a mind of their own, people that have chosen to break away from societal norm, live their life for themselves, people that don't care about what people are saying, what people think of them. They just want to do them. What they do with their piercing and tattoos is about how they feel, is their expression, is rebellion from what the society wants people to do. And that's brave to me. So concluding that because a woman has septum piercing means that she's a bad person, no. All I can conclude from what they are saying based on their septum piercing theory and what she narrated is that she's a bold woman, a woman that chose to separate from a husband that was draining her. It was unfortunate he took his life, but that wasn't her fault. He made the decision, so why blame her? She wasn't the one that did it. He took his life. She was trying to save herself. Men prefer women losing their life in a situation that doesn't favor them because they want to please society and stay with a man that is not healthy for them. Please, always do you. Men and the world will adjust.
The thing about men that I had to learn the hard way through divorce is that, honey, they ain't changing. The shit that shows up in your relationship now, the character flaws that you see now, they're not going to magically go away. They only get worse as time goes on. So we got to choose wisely, okay? And let me give you a couple examples of this. My ex used to tell these little white lies, okay? And it wasn't very often that he did this, and it was never over anything big or serious. Like, he wasn't like a cheater or anything like that, but it was enough for me to clock it when he did it. And I remember one time we were hanging out with some of my friends from college, and my ex went to the same college as us, but we all didn't know him in college. And he was trying to tell us that he was on our college's practice basketball squad, and he was like super insistent about it. And finally one of my guy friends was like, you weren't on that squad, okay? And my ex was like, no, I was. And I was like, you've never told me this. He's like, no, I have. You just like don't listen. And my friend was like, you weren't on the practice squad because I was on the practice squad and you were never there. And I remember my friend was like, who the is this guy? Like, that was so weird. And I remember thinking, I was like 25 years old. I remember being like, oh, like he'll grow out of it. He won't do this when we get older. And I'm going to let you guess why we got divorced. Because he's a liar. Here's another story just for good measure. Okay, after I got divorced, I got into this off and on relationship with this guy that I knew from college. We didn't go to the same colleges, but I would go visit his college all the time. And whenever I was there, we would like, hang out. I was like so into him, but he was very hot and cold with me, and he was very emotionally immature. And I just chalked it up to him being a dumb frat boy, something that he would grow out of. Fast forward many years, he finds out that I'm getting a divorce and he hits me up. And at first it was really great. He was super into me. But as time went on, we started becoming very on again, off again, because he was so hot and cold with me, and he could never commit because he was emotionally immature and could not talk about his feelings. He would push me away, bring me back in, push me away, bring me back in. And it got to the point where he asked me to move to Colorado for him. So I packed up most of my shit. I moved to Colorado, and he dumped me after a week. And it was like the writing was always on the wall. I just refused to read it. He's been this way since 2009. So the moral of the story is things like this that show up early on in the relationship don't one day just like magically go away. They don't just like magically change and grow out of it. And the thing is, it's so easy to fall in love with potential, especially when you have chemistry. Oh my God, chemistry just like clouds our little brains. But I promise you, most of the time that potential equates to nothing, and you have to believe people when they tell you who they are.
That's a great story she told there, and there's a lot of truth in what she said. People don't change overnight. What you're seeing is what you're most likely to get in marriage. Should you decide to marry a man you're dating and you think the man has got some negative traits that you don't like, if you see the red flags, they are most likely to become a red banner when you get married to that person. They're not going to go away. People don't just change, especially men. They don't change overnight. And try to deal with men based on face value, not based on potential. Oh, he can become this tomorrow. Oh, he might become this. He has the potential. No. What if all that you are envisioning don't come to light? Are you willing to deal with it? Are you willing to still like the man the way he is? Always ask yourself that difficult question. Ask yourself those difficult questions. The answer you're looking for is in how you feel towards the response you gave to the question. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for your support.